The biggest wealth transfer in history is happening right now, and most people don't even see it. In January 2023, Microsoft fired 10,000 workers. That same month, they poured $10 billion into OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. Accenture cut 19,000 jobs while pumping $3 billion into AI. Google axed 12,000 positions while calling AI their top priority. Meta dumped 21,000 workers while going all in on AI. And just this year, UPS announced they're cutting 12,000 jobs, pointing directly to AI and automation as the reason. This isn't random, it's a pattern. According to Goldman Sachs, AI could affect 300 million jobs worldwide. The IMF says AI will impact nearly 40% of all jobs, with advanced economies seeing 60% of jobs exposed. That's half of all jobs in developed countries transformed or wiped out by AI. But here's what nobody's talking about. AI isn't just eliminating jobs. It's moving wealth and power on a scale we've never seen before. PwC says AI will add $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030, more than China and India combined. But 70% of those gains will go to just two places, China and North America. And even within those regions, the money is concentrating in fewer and fewer hands. The real question isn't, will AI take my job? It's where will I land in the new class system AI is creating? Because AI isn't creating a jobless future, it's creating a divided one, a new class system that will determine your place in the society for decades. In this video, I'll break down exactly who wins and who loses in this wealth transfer, revealing the 4 new classes emerging in the AI economy. You've seen the headlines. Robots coming for your job. AI will make humans obsolete. It's a dramatic story, but it's wrong. When you talk to actual researchers studying this, you get a different picture. Technological revolutions don't eliminate work entirely, explains Darren Acemoglu from MIT. They transform it, eliminating some jobs while creating others. Think about it. The Industrial Revolution didn't end human labor. Computers didn't make office workers obsolete, and AI won't create a world without jobs. But what it will do is much more dangerous. According to Oxford University, 47% of US jobs could be at high risk of automation in the coming decades. That's half the workforce facing disruption. What makes AI different is this. AI can automate not just physical tasks, but cognitive ones, explains Eric Brynjolfsson from Stanford. Previous automation waves hit blue-collar workers hardest. AI affects white-collar jobs too. Lawyers, doctors, programmers. No one is entirely safe. AI isn't just changing what work gets done, it's changing who has power, and it's creating a whole new class system based on how people relate to these intelligent machines. This isn't science fiction, it's happening now. Let's break down the 4 new classes emerging in the AI economy, starting at the top. At the top of our new AI class system sits a tiny group, those who own and control AI systems. These are the founders and shareholders of tech giants like Google and Microsoft, the venture capitalists funding AI startups, the executives bringing these systems into global companies. Their numbers are small, but their impact is massive. We're seeing a concentration of economic power like never before, explains Kai-Fu Lee, former Google China president and AI expert. Once you've trained an AI system, you can deploy it infinitely at almost no cost. This lets a small number of companies capture enormous value with few employees. Look at Scale AI, a company founded in 2016 that reached a $7.3 billion valuation with just 500 employees. Traditional companies would need thousands or tens of thousands of workers to be worth that much. This pattern extends beyond tech startups. In finance, AI-powered hedge funds like Two Sigma consistently beat market averages while employing small teams managing billions in assets. Accenture projects that AI could increase business productivity by 40% by 2035. But those gains aren't being shared equally. They're flowing mainly to system owners. Just look at the pay gaps in AI companies. Google's CEO Sundar Pichai made $226 million in 2022, 808 times what the median employee earned. Microsoft's Satya Nadella made $54.9 million, 289 times the median worker. And these gaps grow as AI becomes more central to these businesses. When executives implement AI systems, says Kate Crawford, AI researcher and author, they're redistributing value in their organization, typically from labor to capital. This creates our first divide between those who own AI systems and everyone else. The empowered owners aren't evil. They're following economic incentives that reward AI ownership with unprecedented returns. But they don't just control technology, they control opportunity itself. Not everyone is threatened by AI. Some are actually being empowered by it. These are the augmented professionals, skilled workers who use AI not as a replacement, but as a tool that makes them more powerful. Think of them as human-machine teams, combining human judgment with AI capabilities to achieve results neither could reach alone. In healthcare, AI diagnostic systems can detect breast cancer with 99% accuracy, better than human doctors. But the best approach combines human doctors with AI. The best radiologists using AI outperform both AI alone and humans alone, explains Andrew Ng, co-founder of Coursera. The AI catches patterns a human might miss, and humans catch things AI misinterprets. This happens across professions. A Stanford MIT study found that customer service agents using AI tools saw productivity jump by 14% on average, with less skilled agents seeing 35% improvements. In law, AI tools can review contracts 90% faster than human lawyers with equal or higher accuracy for certain tasks. But they can't replace the strategic thinking, client relationships, and courtroom skills that define the profession. AI doesn't replace professionals, Ng emphasizes. It replaces tasks that professionals do, freeing them to focus on their highest value work. But not everyone can become an augmented professional. This path requires education, adaptability, and access to these technologies. The benefits flow mostly to those who already have substantial advantages: education, skills, professional networks. This widens existing inequalities. According to Brookings Institution, workers with less education face up to 5 times more risk of AI-driven job displacement than highly educated workers. This education gap becomes a dividing line in the AI economy. So while the augmented professionals are thriving, their success depends on advantages that aren't equally distributed across society. And the gap between them and our next group grows wider every year. For a huge and growing segment of workers, AI isn't a tool they control. It's a system that controls them. Welcome to the third class, the algorithmically managed. These are workers whose jobs are increasingly monitored, evaluated, and directed by intelligent systems. They don't use AI, they are used by it. Amazon warehouse workers follow routes determined by algorithms, with performance tracked continuously. Call center employees have their tone of voice analyzed in real time. Uber drivers are dispatched and evaluated by systems they can't question or appeal. Algorithmic management creates a fundamental power imbalance, explains Kate Crawford. Workers are subject to constant surveillance by systems they don't understand and can't negotiate with. The psychological impact is significant. Studies show that workers under algorithmic management report higher stress levels and lower job satisfaction than those with human managers. There's something dehumanizing about being directed by an algorithm, Crawford notes. Human managers can be reasoned with, can understand context, can make exceptions. Algorithms typically cannot. And algorithmic management is spreading beyond blue-collar jobs. Unilever uses AI to screen job candidates, analyzing facial expressions and word choice in video interviews. Mid-level managers increasingly implement decisions made by predictive analytics rather than using their own judgment. Creative professionals follow content strategies dictated by recommendation algorithms. What we're seeing is the algorithmization of management itself, says Crawford. Decisions once made by humans are being automated, often with little transparency. This creates a precarious position for the algorithmically managed. They remain employed, but their autonomy, creativity, and potential for advancement are increasingly limited by systems designed to optimize their output while minimizing their agency. And as these systems get more sophisticated, they create a slippery slope toward our final category, those completely displaced by the AI revolution. Not everyone finds a place in the new knowledge economy. For millions of workers, AI and automation mean obsolescence. These are the digitally displaced, people whose skills and experience have been devalued by technology faster than they can adapt. The scale of this displacement is staggering. McKinsey projects that by 2030, automation could displace between 400 to 800 million jobs globally, requiring 375 million people to switch occupational categories entirely. The challenge isn't just that jobs are being eliminated, explains Darren Esamoglu. It's that skills that made someone valuable for decades can become obsolete in a remarkably short time. this problem hits mid-career workers hardest. Bureau of Labor Statistics data shows workers displaced by automation take 22% longer to find new jobs than those displaced for other reasons. When they do find work, they typically earn 17 to 30% less than before. Society has never been good at handling mass technological displacement, notes Eric Brynjolfsson. But the AI revolution is happening faster than previous technological shifts, giving people and institutions less time to adapt. The geographic dimension makes this worse. While tech hubs like San Francisco, Boston, and New York thrive, former industrial centers face deepening economic despair. Brookings Institution found automation risk is not evenly distributed across the country. Rural areas and smaller metropolitan regions face significantly higher risks of job displacement than major urban centers. The usual advice is that displaced workers should learn to code or develop skills complementary to AI. But this oversimplifies a complex challenge. Retraining isn't impossible, but it's far more difficult than most technologists acknowledge, says Acemoglu. It requires resources, support systems, and often geographic mobility that many displaced workers simply don't have. The result is a growing class of economically vulnerable workers whose skills and experience, once valuable, have been rendered obsolete by technological change. This creates our final and perhaps most concerning divide between those who can participate in the AI economy and those who cannot. The four-class system I've outlined, empowered owners, augmented professionals, algorithmically managed and digitally displaced, represents where we're headed by default, but it's not the only possible outcome. Around the world, innovators, policymakers, and forward-thinking business leaders are developing approaches that could distribute the benefits of AI more broadly. The direction of technological development isn't predetermined, explains Darren Acemoglu. It's shaped by incentives, regulations, and social choices. We can choose to develop AI that complements human workers rather than replacing them. This approach, called human-centered AI, focuses on enhancing human capabilities rather than mimicking and replacing them. Andrew Ng's company, Landing AI, has pioneered this in manufacturing. Rather than trying to fully automate factories, we build systems that make existing workers more productive, he explains. A human-centered approach creates more value and distributes it more broadly. Cities are exploring more democratic approaches to AI governance too. Barcelona's Displacement platform enables citizen participation in technology decisions. Amsterdam and Helsinki have created AI registers, transparency tools that list all the AI systems used by city governments. Technology shouldn't be something that happens to communities, says Crawford. It should be something they actively shape. At the corporate level, Microsoft has established the AET-HER committee to evaluate the societal impacts of their AI systems. The partnership on AI brings together companies, nonprofits, and academic institutions to establish best practices. These approaches share a common principle, putting human flourishing at the center of technological development. The fundamental question isn't whether AI will be powerful, says Brynjolfsson. It's who will have power over AI, and by extension, over our collective future. This isn't just idealism. Evidence suggests inclusive approaches to AI may actually create more economic value over time. Broad-based prosperity creates larger markets and more innovation than concentrated wealth, explains Acemoglu. History shows that the most successful economies are those that create opportunities for the largest number of people. The biggest wealth transfer in history is happening right now. AI will change or eliminate 40% of all jobs. It'll create $15.7 trillion in new wealth, but most of that money is flowing straight to the top. These four classes I've shown you, the owners, the augmented, the managed, and the displaced, they're not some far-off future. They're forming around us right now. So here's what it all comes down to. Which side of this AI revolution will you be on? And what are you going to do to make sure you don't end up on the wrong side of it? Because in the end, AI won't shape society on its own. The people who control it will. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.